Good afternoon, everyone. It is 12:30, and we are going to get this meeting started. Are there any public comment?
No public comments.
Thank you. We'll move to item 1, presentation and discussion regarding the analytical laboratory design phase remodel.
Hello, everybody. I'm Travis Menchaca, and Gabriel Coronado will also be presenting as well. Today, we're discussing the analytical laboratory design phase remodel. I'll be discussing the facility issues, corrective actions, scope, cost breakdown, timeline, photos, a simplified floor plan, next steps, and questions after the fact. So currently, the laboratory facility, we have several issues within the space. On the left-hand side, you'll see the category. The first category is the HVAC equipment and infrastructure. Those issues there are HVAC equipment has reached the end of the life expectancy. We have frequent HVAC equipment failures, chiller system leaks, freon regularly. We have mold growth due to condensation and humidity, and stained ceiling tiles and walls. Laboratory operations. The analytical lab team cannot use the laboratory's main building facility. There's mold and temperature fluctuations that prevent safe and accurate lab work. DW and micro laboratory sections have been relocated to a temporary mobile unit, which is a trailer. Temporary facilities. Analytical laboratory has been decentralized. Mobile unit is too small for lab operations. Mobile unit was intended as a short-term solution. Monthly rental cost adds financial burden. Corrective actions, the task on the left, starting with design collaboration. We've partnered with Half Associates for a comprehensive redesign of the space, including all mechanical, electrical, and plumbing systems. HVAC replacement. Remove existing HVAC, heating, ventilation, and air conditioning system. Install BPUB-owned Johnson Controls HVAC system, replace all chilled water supply lines and return lines to ensure efficient thermal regulation, install a new duct system equipped with dampers for improved airflow control and zoning. The next task is the lab building rehabilitation, a complete rehabilitation and remodel of the facility to fit the needs of the analytical laboratory team. Next is the scope of work. Half Associates will develop a design scope for BPUB that aligns with current laboratory operational needs. The design scope includes proposal for professional architectural, mechanical, electrical, and structural engineering services in support of the remodel. The laboratory rehab and renovation of approximate 4,000 square feet, expansion of laboratory space ranging from 400 to 600 square feet. The design will incorporate a new diesel generator to provide full backup power for the entire facility. So here is the cost breakdown. The existing analytical lab remodel design total is $451,300, which the budget comes from the CIP carryover of $700,747. Half is the engineer on the engineering rotation, so there was no need to bid out their services. So here is the timeline. November, today we're presenting to the facility committee. In December, present project design phase to BPUB board for approval. In January of 2026, we're hoping to have the PO issued to Half Associates. January 2026, Half Associates to begin the design of the project. March of 2026, Half Associates to begin the bidding process. April 2026, present project construction phase to BPUB board for approval. And March 2027, completion of the analytical laboratory remodel. Here are some photos. This is showing the main entrance of the building. To your right, you'll see mold growth on ceiling panels. To the left, you'll see the removal of the ceiling panels that were stained and had mold growth. Same thing to the right. Here you can see some additional mold growth as well. Here is the proposed conceptual floor plan. The items in red are the existing walls that will be removed. The items in blue, highlighted in blue, those are new walls that will be installed with a part of the design. The light blue colored would be the additional counter and shelf space to be added. The items in purple would be the new fume hoods. And then we're also upgrading the electrical panel, installing a reverse osmosis system, ice machine, and a new generator. Next steps, in December 2025, we'll present the project design phase to BPUB board for approval. And is there any questions?
Any questions?
No. The only thing is the 4,000 square is going to be plus 400 more, right? So it's going to be 44?
Correct.
Yeah, okay.
Correct. Yes, sir. Okay.
No questions, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Next item, presentation and discussion on the Brownsville Public Utilities Board Transmission Planning Strategy.
Good afternoon, members of the committee. My name is Javier Martinez. I'm the manager for the Electrical Systems Planning Department. Today, I'm here to kind of talk about some of the challenges that the Electrical Systems Planning Department is seeing due to the rapid load growth that we're seeing in the city of Brownsville and within the last year or so. Talk about some of the solutions that we're going to use to kind of combat that, plus also discuss some of the ongoing projects that we already have in the queue that are helping us with some of the load growth development. So just on a high level, so BPUB currently owns and operates 15 138 kV substations, and we have about 50 miles of transmission line. So on the right, you can see everything in blue is BPUB owned. The little squares denotes a substation. One of the things I want to kind of show here is everything in green is from another adjacent transmission service provider. So that could be like an AEP, a Magic Valley, a Sherryland. The other thing important to note here is the little red dashes on the background, that is within Brownsville city limits, okay? And that'll be important as I go through some of the next slides. Historically, our system has peaked roughly about 334 megawatts. And one of the things that's very unique about our system is we have a loop system, a ring system. So on the bottom, you see that blue little circle. That's one of the strategies we use. If we ever lose a line, that station has two sources, so it can always be serviced from an adjacent station as well. So some of the city load development that we're seeing. As you can see, everything that we have here on this map, the little red stars, that is new loads that we're seeing. That is a combination of new residential subdivisions, and then on the blue stars are large loads that we're also seeing. Again, I think what we wanted to share here is all of that is happening north of Brownsville. And as you can clearly see, we do not have any blue transmission infrastructure that can help us kind of service some of that load. Right now, all the load that's there and that's being projected, we are currently servicing that through our existing Palo Alto and Titan substation. Any questions on this? So how do we combat this? And so we've developed a strategy or a plan, a project called the North Transmission North Loop. And this will look a little bit like this. So I need to back out on this one. Sorry, we had to make some edits to the presentation. We want to make it clearly see it. Okay. So what we want to propose is new substations and new transmission. So the lines on north, the red, that is going to be new transmission lines. And what we want to do is we want to loop this, kind of like I mentioned earlier, kind of how we have a ring system on the south side, but we want to do this on the north side. What this will allow us to do is once this is in place, as new loads still continues to grow, we'll be able to just drop down new substations and we'll be able to tap into that new proposed transmission line. The ones in orange squares, those are new proposed substations. Some of the large loads that we're seeing are like the purple. And so again, the idea here is to have a more redundant system that can not only be able to handle this load, but any future load that might be happening. One of the biggest things is we're seeing also a lot of large load near the Port of Bronzeville. And so that's why some of these projects here are kind of vital. One of those that we already started here is the Loma Alta substation rebuild, and that one's going to be called Cypher, and that is on here as well. It's on the right. So this is kind of the stage one of this big planned project, and that one is already ongoing. So how does this new load, how does that look like for the next 5 years? So the blue here is just been our steady normal load that we've been seeing throughout. We've added about a 2% every year from 2025 and on, just kind of forecast that load. The biggest thing here is right now, the orange is new like industrial large loads. We're looking right now in the queue, we have about 90 megawatts worth of large load. The green is mainly all subdivisions. So the green right now, we have about 124 megawatts in the queue. With that being said, just on the new large load plus the subdivisions, residential subdivisions, we're looking close to a little bit north of 200 megawatts, which is a substantial amount. That's almost 2/3 of our existing load, which, as I mentioned earlier, we peaked around 334. So we will be looking anywhere close to anywhere between 500 to 600 megawatts within the next 5 years if this load does come in and gets committed within Bronzeville. Again, there's a lot of large load that we're in discussions with. What we wanted to put here are just ones of the ones, while it's not fully committed, we have a high percentage that it will come online. So we did focus on trying to kind of weed out some of the loads that we were just not sure, and we're still in the early stages, okay? So how are we handling this right now? So we've actually started construction of a new 138 kV substation called Ocelot. That station will bring in roughly about 60 MVA worth of capacity to the city of Bronzeville. We plan to energize this around Q2 of 2026. And two of the ongoing, I guess, upgrades that we have is Palo Alto. As I mentioned to you earlier, Palo Alto is one of the ones that's already near North Bronzeville. So we're looking to add another transformer there, bringing another 28 MVA worth of capacity, and we're looking about Q1 of 2027. And then the other station we're also working on adding another transformer is our Waterport. And Waterport is mainly there to service the Port of Bronzeville. And that itself will also bring another 28 MVA transformer with the capacity. So the last two are some of our rebuilds substations. So Loma Alta, as I mentioned, that's going through the rebuild. As I mentioned, this will be called Cypher when it's completed. We have gone to the board already for approval on purchasing and procuring some of the equipment for the station. We've had ordered about, I think, 2 28 MVA transformers, but because of some of the new opportunities that we're seeing, and we're still in the early stages of the design of the substation, we do plan to go back to the board to be able to procure new transformers with a total capacity about 100 MVA, so 2 50 MVA transformers. And really the reason there is because just, one load in the port can come anywhere between 50 to 100, and we've seen it as high as 300 megawatts as well. And that substation we plan to build in Q3 of 2028. And finally, the airport substation rebuild, that's already currently ongoing. Right now, it's in the demolishing. We've actually, that station itself will add another 56 MVA when it's all complete. And right now, all the load that belonged to airport, we did have another improvement project called the Strand Mobile Substation, and that mobile substation is carrying all the load that airport used to carry, and we did that so that we wouldn't stress our system and give us flexibility if we're ever in an emergency. We always have redundancy to be able to move load around. So what are some of the completed milestones? So we've actually reached out to our grants department to kind of procure some funding for some of these projects. As I mentioned, the first one is the Loma Alta rebuild, so that's currently the one that we're working on. We've already submitted one grant opportunity. Early this week, we met with our grants department again, and there's another grant that we're going to be starting to apply for as well. So we're hoping to be positive and maybe get some funding there as well. Second is we have kind of shown this design, the North Loop, with our real estate department so they can help us acquire any land acquisition, easements, anything that we might need for this project. And finally, we have submitted this design to ERCOT, so they're actually going to be studying this in their RTP study, the Regional Transmission Planning studies. That will be usually complete toward the end of this year. And again, it's mainly to ensure that we're following within ERCOT standards and we're supporting the regional grid planning process. So what are the next steps? So we want to continue studying this option. We have compliance responsibilities for NERC TPL 001-4. So what we do on an annual basis, we run power flow studies, and we stress the system, and what we plan to do is to continue modeling this solution and making sure that it's still in alignment as we continue to add new loads, making sure that it's still the best option to go, and if we need to make changes, we're still in that planning process that we can do it as well. The next thing is we want to develop a more comprehensive plan for implementation, such as identifying cost estimates. What's the timeline? What are the resource requirements that are needed? Part of our strategic goals that we plan to start in 2026 is to also work on having build an internal committee that we can discuss projects like this, big transmission projects, so we can identify, what projects we do want to move forward with and bring it to the attention of the board as well. And finally, we do plan to go to the board for future CIP funding for 2027 that kind of aligns with this plan in place for the North Transmission Loop. But that will be down the line once we, like I said, it's going to be mainly based off once we have that feasibility and that comprehensive plan of all the cost estimates, et cetera. Any questions?
No questions. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll move on to the next item, presentation and discussion of the AV project upgrade.
Members of the board, IT was approached and asked to do an upgrade of the boardroom. As y'all are aware, we wanted to do some upgrades to the presentation screen, the screens up front, the sound. As you can tell, it echoes in here a lot. It's a big rectangular room with a lot of glass. So one of the things that we did was engage an AV company, Ford and Associates, out of Houston. They've worked on some projects with the city to help us kind of take a look at the situation and present a solution. This is Jose Luis Lopez. He's our IT hardware, cybersecurity, and all kinds of things manager.
Great.
Okay, good afternoon, members of the board. I'm here to present, like Eddie said, the upgrade that we're going to do to the boardroom here in the annex. The company that, like Eddie said, we're working with is Ford AV out of Houston. And some of the goals that we're going to go here over is mainly to improve the quality and the experience here for the board and the city, joint special meetings that PUB has with other entities. So that's what we're going to be presenting here. Some of the goals. Mainly it's going to be the audio experience here, both for the board and for the participants. Video quality also is going to get a lot better. We're going to also, like Eddie said, replace the monitors that are in front of you. We're also going to provide a solution. The company's going to provide a solution to focus on the speaker. and a new microphone and speaker solution for the board members, not just when we have this setup, but also when we have joint workshops that you all have we have a U-shaped or tables, things like that. So I'll go over those solutions right now in a bit. The goals, again, improve the audio video and camera solution to focus on the speaker. Just go over here. Some of the things that we're going to go over here too on the next couple is we're going to put some sound panels. Some of those sound panels, some samples have already been delivered to Eddie and staff. We're going to put some sound panels around the room to keep the noise level down, to help with the recordings. And this overall, the solution is going to help, not just us, but staff, the YouTubes that we have going on live right now. So that's all going to help. These are some of the panels that are going to be installed throughout the boardroom to help the acoustics. Again, these are not going to be eyesores. They're going to blend. There's different colors that the company can provide, and they're going to be installed by them throughout the boardroom. These are some of the more panels that we're going to install in the back. This is the back view of the room. This is a side view, some of the panels that are going to be installed to help all the acoustics. Also the microphones. These are some of the new microphones that you all are going to see. The ones that we have right now, they're good quality, but like technology, starts to evolve. There's something new all the time. So these are some of the new microphones that we're going to install in front of, for all the board members and for the workshops also. These are going to be push to talk. You're going to have to go close to the mic and push a button. They're also going to have integrated speakers. They're going to have the capability if you want to hear with it on a headset. And all of this is going to help the overall experience. Right now we're having a lot of issues with raising the volume on the mics, so sometimes we get some buzzing, and that's hard for staff sometimes with members that are, or other participants that are via the WebEx, we have some issues there, so this is gonna help us provide that solution that we need.
Yeah, right now you have a lot of open mics, and so they bleed on each other.
Right, so this is gonna help with that. Again, this is the actual microphone. It's going to have a little screen there. The chair will be able to mute and unmute other staff members if they like. We can also, there's other solutions that come with these mics that we can put small nameplates in front of each board member, which can appear digitally, whoever's talking, and it'll appear in front of each board member. Let's see. As far as the microphones that we're going to be using for the tabletop or for the workshops, these are going to be 18 wireless mics that are going to also be purchased with this installation. These mics are going to be the same quality. They're going to be battery operated, and they're going to be able to do the same thing. The other thing that's going to happen with these mics that is going to be is when the speaker's talking now. That's what's new with this solution. It's going to focus on the person that's actually speaking. So it's going to move around depending who is speaking. It's going to go around and select the person that's speaking. It's also going to be a major camera upgrade. Right now we only have 2 cameras, one in the front and one in the back. Now there's going to be an installation of 5 cameras. Getting side views from the different angles of the room. These are going to do the same thing. It's going to focus on the actual member that's talking, and it's going to be a small frame, or it's going to might show the person that's next to them. But it's going to mainly focus on the person that's speaking. So these are going to move around. The same thing with the workshops. The workshops, since we set up tables in a U-shaped, they're also going to focus from the side. They're going to move around to the actual members or city members or PubCap members or, you know, other participants that, for other meetings that we have, they're gonna focus on that. So that's one of the new integrations that's gonna happen with this major AV upgrade. These are some of the things that Ford has sent us. These are some of the screens from Mont Bellevue. Again, a lot of internal staff and staff were worried about the logo, what's gonna happen to the PUB logo that's behind us. That's gonna be covered now by the large screen. It's gonna be a 163-inch display, and now the logo is gonna be fixed on that display at the beginning of the meetings, and it's gonna look nice, just like the logo that's there right now.
Okay, so it won't be a projector anymore?
It won't be a projector, correct. It's gonna be a large display, 163-inch display. The other thing, touching on the projectors, staff was also, there were some questions about the existing equipment. Most of the existing equipment, we're gonna take it out, we're gonna repurpose it. We're gonna reuse it at the next door. We still have our own old main building boardroom there. So we're gonna, some of the equipment there is also fairly old, so we're gonna take some of the equipment that's here and repurpose it. The equipment's gonna be divided between here and the 511 site that we're gonna be able to reuse. So none of it is gonna be just kind of yank it away, throw it away. No, it's gonna be repurposed. Display, again, this is Mount Bellevue. Like I said, those are the dame displays that we can put there. That's an option that we can put there in front of the board. These are some of the other displays that they worked on. The other thing is for you all there in front, there's going to be new displays now that are going to be installed. These displays are going to be able to tilt almost fairly flat, so like that. If you know, it gives you all a better view to the you know, when you're working on presentations. Sometimes it's hard to look over the displays. Some of these displays are pretty big, so these are the new monitors that are going to be installed. These are going to be hardwired into the current system that we have. Again, these are the cameras. These are the cameras that are going to pan, tilt, and zoom.
They can be smaller than these, by the way. I don't know if there's, if they're the same size.
They're about
These?
almost, these are 22, I think these are 22-inch, and these are the ones that are going to be, we can put smaller ones if
They'll be similar size.
similar to that. I think this one's a little bit bigger. These are smaller here, the Dells.
Okay.
Yeah. So overall, the goal is to improve the audio and video experience and, you know, for the board. And the project budget is estimated at a turnkey solution for $325,000. And we're going to go with a 2-year warranty, right?
Yeah, what we're going to present is, we're going to add year 2 and year 3 on the warranty. So the total will come out to about $346,933. We'll update the number for the board presentation.
Okay.
The other thing is that when we do go into this remodeling of the AV room, the contractor is going to take, or is going to need 3 to 4 weeks. So at that time, we're going to work with the GM and with GM staff to reschedule, not reschedule, but to bring up the board meetings in another location, probably 511 site. During that, because they're going to need a 3 to 4 week period from start to finish. Overall, it's going to take 10 to 12 weeks because they're going to have to come in here, look at our existing equipment, which most of it, they've already done an inventory. They're going to configure it, you know, test everything. But the actual hardware installation is going to take 3 to 4 weeks. So during those 3 to 4 weeks, we might have a board meeting somewhere else and then bring everybody back.
Those 3 or 4 weeks gonna be after they design the whole thing, right?
Right. They're gonna go through a whole design, they have, you know, project engineer, project superintendent, project manager, and they're gonna work with us and make sure that before we, say go, that everything will be tested and programmed correctly.
The one thing that's not included in that price is any electrical work that needs to be done behind the scenes.
Oh, yeah.
So we would coordinate with facilities in order to get that done.
Okay.
And I don't know if you want to mention that.
Yeah, the other thing that we already worked with the contractor, the vendor, was that it's on the TIPS contract. We mentioned that last week. And so as far as, we've already sent the proposal to legal, to Paul, to see, to look over that, to see if there's anything that, but it is on the TIPS contract. All the pricing is there, the tables, everything is there with a lot of detail. So we're just waiting for legal to give us that review.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay,
Any other questions?
Thank you.
alrighty.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item, presentation and discussion on the Brownsville Public Utilities Board credit card fee structure.
Good afternoon. My name is Eddie Campirano, and I'll talking a little bit today about the credit card payment analysis. So this actually was requested. We did have a question kind of coming up from the community asking if we were to change the caps, what would that look like? But also since we implemented the current structure October 1 of 2024, so it's been a full year. So we thought this would be a good opportunity to kind of recap that and share, and kind of also as a refresher. So getting into it quickly. So at the end of fiscal year 2025, we had 73,460 total billable accounts. So that's everything from commercial, residential, muni. Every billable account that we had is an aggregate and is almost 7,500. I'm sorry, 73,460. So within that fiscal year, we processed 800 or received 836,372 payments. So a quick breakdown there of how customers are paying. So as we can see, overwhelmingly, we have, almost half, really, 49.6% of customers pay with a credit card. That's kind of broken down there here. So with that 49.6% is really kind of what we're going to focus on today, although we do have other forms of payment that we accept that are actually at no cost to the customer as well. So any questions here before we proceed into the numbers? All right. So this may look familiar because we did present these numbers when we were first implementing the credit card fee structure. So from FY19, FY23, the credit card fees that were paid by the utility at that time were a little over 3.3 million. And we estimated this past fiscal year, if we still had the same model that we had prior to this, they would have gone up to about $877,000 in credit card fees for fiscal year 2025. So that number would have just incrementally kept growing. And so moving on, and so this was a comparison that we had at that time. If we were to increase the credit card limit, the threshold, so per transaction limit. So currently, it's $1,000 maximum per credit card transaction. Now, I will say customers do have the ability to make multiple transactions. So say, for instance, if they have a $2,000 bill and they wanted to pay with a credit card, essentially they would be paying 2 transactions. So there's no transaction limit, but there is a maximum dollar amount that they can pay per transaction. So if that makes sense. The reason we kept it at 1,000 at that time, to give you an idea, our average credit card payments that we receive are $188. So our average $188, we don't get close to that $1,000 cap. So by and large, it encapsulates or includes all of our the vast majority of our customers that are paying with a credit card. It accommodates those. So the customers that do have bills, say for instance, our commercial customers that their bills may exceed $1,000, they do have the option if they do want to pay with their credit card in multiple transactions, or most of them have already been set up either on ACH or pay via check because they have a bill payer, or also our large entities, they elect to pay through wire transfer. So it's not that many customers that we would be talking about. So if we were to increase the limit, say to $5,000 or $10,000, you can see in that chart below how it would increase. And so it would increase because right now the customer pays 1.95% or $2.50, whichever is lower. If we were to increase that cap to $5,000, that percentage would actually go up to 2.25%. And then going over to $10,000, it'd actually go up to 2.5%. And that's regardless of the amount of the bill. So say, for instance, if we use that average bill that our customers have of $188, that fee would go up to accommodate that 10,000 or 5,000, but that customer still paying that $188, their essential, that percentage would go up as well. So it'd be a flat 2.5% or 2.25% for everyone just by raising that cap. So we know that the average credit card bill is $188. It would negatively essentially affect them to accommodate those customers with the larger bills. So that's how it would incrementally go up. So there's no recommendation at this point since it's not an action item. This is more of a refresher and here to answer any questions that you may have. So I don't have any more to my presentation. So if you have any more questions or any more context, I'd be happy to provide that.
Thank you for the refresher. Any
No
questions?
questions, no questions. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. And there's no reason to go to executive session, right?
Correct.
Okay.
No need.
So I think we are ready to close this meeting. And I don't think we need a vote for that, right? Okay,
No.
so we're good. Thank you, everybody. Hope you have a good rest of your day.
Thank you.
The time is 1:06.